All right. So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this once and one time only. All right. If you have an abortion, okay, if you've had an abortion in the past, I'm not going to say your past dictates your life now. All right. However, if you're planning to have an abortion, okay, what you need to do is stop. Do not have it. Do not go through with it. Do not try to mentally make sense of the situation. Because at the end of the day, you are killing a human being. Okay? And I hopefully will today convince you of how retarded any abortion argument actually is using facts and statistical data. All right? And if you don't want to believe me about anything I say, that's fine. You can do your own research. All right? Um, Godspeed. But anyways, check this out. Number one, the first argument. The first argument is, what do they say? It's my body. I'm gonna write some points down so I can stay on track because I recorded a video. It was 20 minutes, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. All right. All right. How much time have I wasted? About 30 seconds. All right. So it says it's my body. That's number one. The whole "it's my body" argument. All right. Just because it is your body does not mean that you are now in control of decisions. All right. Because if that were the case, no drugs would be illegal. It would not matter. It would literally not matter for any drug use if your body mattered to just you. Okay? That makes sense. All right. Another thing. If your body, if nobody else had any authority over your body, why do you go to the doctor? If nobody controls anything that you do about your body, where do you pick your clothes from? Do you make them? Where do you get your food? Do you grow it? What do you like? Were you convinced of it? Because nothing about you is you. The only way that you could really be you in 100%, and I would let you have all responsibility and everything for who you are as a person, is if you raised yourself, right? And the fact that you cannot physically raise yourself denies everything that you can tell me about your responsibility over yourself in regards to another person's life. All right. Now, with that being said, we're going to go to my second bullet point of the arguments. It's not a life. The most interesting of arguments. Because otherwise, 9 months for every baby on earth were wasted. Because if it's not a life inside of that woman, it cannot be growing. It cannot. There is no way that if that thing is not living, that it can grow. Because it's not a tumor. It's not the same cells reproducing rapidly. It's not. There are multiple different compartmentalized cells that have specific functions in a DNA strand that is completely unique from both sets of parents and anybody else on the earth. All right, but okay. And then bullet point number 3 is rape victims, which statistically 85% of rape victims have the children if they get pregnant. And then from the 15% of rape victims that do go through with abortions, that 15% of rape victims, which is a minority within a minority, okay, so that's going to make the overall population even smaller. But the overall rape victim statistic for abortion rates is less than 2%. So, actually, I think that's life-threatening I think it's life-threatening abortions is less than 2%. And then I think the rape victims is like maybe 7. So we'll give 10% to rape victims and life-threatening situations. How about that? 10% of the 50 million abortions that have happened from 1967 to, I think it said 2018 in that study. All right. And I know they've been killing babies this year. Come on now, because if they weren't, Trump wouldn't have had to say something about it. And then from Trump stopping global aid to fund abortions, people get on Trump's case about, I don't know what, morality, I guess. I guess they were mad about him being moral. Because this is what I'm going to teach y'all. I'm going to teach y'all a very simple lesson right now about a baby. All right, because a lot of people, they went to school, you know, they got the education, but they lost it as soon as they left the building. So I'm going to teach y'all something. All right, so check this out. Right here, we have a field with rows and rows of plants. Now, the field itself is the mother, okay? The field is the mother, a separate entity from the plants. You see all the plants? Now, these are not ready to be picked. Therefore, these are not mature plants. Therefore, the harvest is not ready. The harvest being the birth, the raising, and the fruitful life of a child. That would be the harvest. So whenever you take your crops to town, you sell them, you get your money, you get your satisfaction. That's ultimately what a child is. Whenever you have a child, you may spend some money, but that's called an investment. Whenever you're investing into a child, it shouldn't be spending money. You should be bettering yourself and bettering your life with them. Because at the end of the day, if you're not raising your child to be the best, then why are you having sex? Because you don't have sex to fulfill any desires. That's what masturbation is for, if we're going to be realistic. Honestly, if you're having sex to reproduce. Therefore, if you are reproducing successfully, you're doing what you were supposed to do and what the act is intended for. Therefore, you terminating that pregnancy is not you not being happy with the success of your actual action. You're actually just mad at the fact that you've successfully done it and are not responsible enough to plan afterwards. Okay, the biggest mistake with Planned Parenthood and stuff like that is the fact that they tell you about birth control, yet don't incentivize it. So then once you are pregnant, instead of helping you to plan the parenthood, they're trying to give you solutions to end it. And with these solutions to end it, all you're doing is, 1, killing a baby. 2, all right. Killing a baby is not just killing a baby. All right. I don't look at it like that, because you're taking away a whole opportunity for change in your life. All right. If your child doesn't change anybody else's life, your child doesn't cure cancer, your child isn't the best athlete, none of that matters, man. At the end of the day, your child is your creation. All right. Well, it's God's creation from your particles, all right, that are shared between two people that we're supposed to intimately choose to connect, not lustfully choose to connect. Because a lot of y'all's issues revolving around sex are the lack of knowledge between knowing what sex is actually intended for and feeling like you have a desire for sex. Because I've been watching porn since I was 12, and I lost my virginity when I was 19 to another virgin who also was aware of the fact of sex being intended for pregnancy. However, we didn't have any children, which is okay. However, if I would have had children, I wouldn't have been caught off guard. I would not have been surprised. I would not have acted like I did not know how this happened. I would understand that, wow, when they say have sex to have kids, they meant it. But anyways, back to the field. The crops, all right? This is all this video is about, just this one definition of this field. The field in itself and the crops. Field, crops. The field represents the mother, okay? Like I said, separate entity completely, okay? The crops are not ready yet. So these would represent a baby in the womb, All right, these crops can have no purpose according to y'all. According to y'all, nada. All right. Now, what these crops are doing are taking nutrients from the ground in this field. Okay, so yes, they do have a relationship with the field. All right, so the baby obviously has a relationship with the mother. They're connected. Okay, come on now, it doesn't take rocket science for that. But listen, obviously y'all need some rocket science help to understand the next part. Okay, if I go out here and I torch all of these plants and kill all of the potential of these plants, the farmer will come out here and know exactly what happened. The farmer will come out here and know that I just destroyed all of his progress. I just destroyed all of his effort. I just destroyed all of his sense of accomplishment, because these plants, they all have a purpose. These plants are all being raised to be sold, to be able to provide money and be able to get the necessary tools in this world. Now, whenever you're out here looking at these plants, they might not look like they do much for anything. I mean, they're just sitting there. They don't do anything at all, actually. I mean, babies just sit there and they cry. All right, you might have to change some diapers. I know that might feel like a drag, but I'll say 9 times out of 10, every female has a dog that she's willing to clean up wet diarrhea poop in a kitchen floor while eating a bagel, but doesn't want to change their homegirl's baby's diaper when they're not doing anything. You know, that's odd to me. But as I was saying, if I go out here and destroy these plants, the farmer's going to understand that I took away everything that was coming, and it was guaranteed to come. Okay? Because once the plants have started, you already know what's coming. Plants don't just grow for no reason. Now, in the seed stage, if there were a whole bunch of seeds out here, okay, and the ground was completely dry, all right, that's not enough to make a seed grow. That is not enough weather conditions or just conditions period for that seed to grow and manifest into these plants. Therefore, another step had to be taken, and that's from the water in the sky, the moisture. You know, when God opens the heavens and the water falls, you know, He blesses the earth with life. So that water falling was the boy you chose. That sweat that was falling on you. You know, when you were making all those decisions to not make a baby, or when you were practicing not making a baby without birth control. Hmm. Hmm. It's like practicing basketball with a baseball, but okay. And yeah. And then another thing, I'm actually gonna hop on one more thing because I forgot to write it down. But don't ever say that your life is ruined because you got pregnant. Okay? Because I'm 22. My mom got pregnant with me in high school when she was 17. My dad left. My mom raised me most literally my whole life alone. And I just been here, man. And no matter how bad any part of life felt, I will forever be more grateful for the worst situations in my life than to be dead because she was too pussy to have me and raise me as an adult that chose to do some adult shit. You see what I'm saying? Because how selfish would it have been for your mother to choose that your life wasn't valuable because her life meant more at the time? Because at the end of the day, we all have time. All right, check this out. We all have time. Whether you believe in God or not, okay, science has proved there's other dimensions. I've already said this before. So if there's other dimensions, obviously time moves differently outside of this realm. Therefore, time is a construct that we have created in this realm, which I've said this multiple times, but I don't know if I've said it in videos, but I talk to my friends about this a lot. Okay? Everything that we have is relative. Alright? Nothing is confirmed outside of what we believe to be true. Okay, all of our facts have just been tested and tested and tested, and even over time, some of those facts still change. However, one fact still remains. If you have sex unprotected and you get pregnant, that was what that action was designed for. That is 100% guaranteed fact. Therefore, if you lay down with somebody, and I mean lay down, just laying side by side, you won't get pregnant. Cuddling with clothes on, you won't get pregnant. Um, Oral, you won't get pregnant. So obviously, those aren't the steps that got you there. So what we need to do from now on, especially if you're young, what you need to do now is establish values for your future. Because lollygagging in the moment, or let's say you're not pregnant right now, all right, which is the ideal situation. I hope nobody watches this and is actually pregnant and actually considering an abortion, because I'm sorry for that baby. If I know that a child's parent is considering killing that child, I'm concerned for the child, especially when the child has never had an opportunity to even see that parent. It's crazy to me, but yeah, man. I was gonna say something else, but I forgot. So I'm gonna let y'all have it on that note. God bless y'all. Make wise decisions. Do better.